In the quiet fields of the elephant sanctuary in Tennessee, two elderly elephants stood so close their shadows touched. There were no chains around their legs, no commands in the air, no noise demanding their attention. Only breathing, only presence, only peace. One elephant leaned her massive head gently against the other, her trunk slowly sliding along her friend's face, resting there as if it had always belonged in that place. This was not instinct. This was memory. This was love that had survived a lifetime. Their names were Shirley and Jenny, and this moment of peace came only after everything else had been taken from them. They were both born in the wild, surrounded by family, movement and touch. Elephants grow up never alone, always pressed against mothers, aunts, sisters. Touch is their language. Belonging is their world. Then one day, that world disappeared. Humans came. The ground shook. Families scattered. And two young elephants were captured, pulled away from everything they had ever known. They never saw their mothers again. In the 1980s, Shirley and Jenny were brought to the same travelling circus in Texas. The nights were loud, the lights blinding, the air thick with fear and confusion. Chains wrapped around their legs, commands replaced comfort. Stillness was forced. Obedience was demanded. But in that place of cruelty, they found each other. They stood close when the noise became too much. They slept beside one another when allowed. They touched trunks quietly, offering comfort without words. For the first time since losing their families, they were not completely alone. Then, without warning, they were separated. Different trucks, different roads, no goodbye, no understanding. Elephants do not understand distance the way humans do. They understand absence, the space where someone should be, a space that never closes. Shirley was sent to another circus. Years of travel followed, years of confinement, years of fear. Then, in 1992, terror came in flames. A fire broke out during a performance. Smoke filled the air. Panic erupted. Shirley was burned, her skin scarred, her body marked forever. She survived, but survival came with constant pain. Her scars never faded. Her body never forgot. Jenny's suffering was quieter, but no less cruel. She was moved from place to place, her body slowly breaking down. Her legs weakened, her spine injured. Walking hurt, standing hurt. Even resting was difficult. By the time she was rescued, her movements were slow, her body fragile, her eyes tired from decades without safety, without stability, without anyone who knew her story. In the year 2000, both elephants were rescued separately and brought to the elephant sanctuary in Tennessee. For the first time, there were no chains, no performances, no fear of punishment. But healing takes time when the wounds are deep. They were placed apart, unaware that the one they had lost so long ago was nearby. Something inside them still waited. Then one day, the gates opened. Shirley stepped forward. Jenny lifted her head. They froze. Slowly, their trunks reached out and touched. Low, deep rumbles filled the air, sounds elephants reserve only for those they trust. There was no confusion, no hesitation, only recognition. After 22 years of separation, they remembered. Caretakers stood in silence. Some cried, because this was not training. This was memory awakening. From that moment on, Shirley and Jenny chose each other. They walked together. They rested together. When Jenny's legs failed her, Shirley stood beside her. When Jenny slept, Shirley stood guard. Pain still existed, but it was shared. And shared pain is lighter. This is not a story about cruelty. It is a story about what cruelty failed to destroy. Despite chains, despite fire, despite broken bodies, despite 22 years apart, love endured. Memory endured. And in the end, Shirley and Jenny were no longer circus elephants. They were no longer survivors. They were simply two old friends who found each other again and finally came home. Elephants never forget, but more importantly, they never stop loving.